afternoon and good evening. I'm Saskia, aka Sassy Colouring, and I am here today with a video for you about the colouring companion as requested. So today you will have seen this, it's called the Busy Bee bonus on the new book event. Please excuse, I have a very squeaky chair, if that makes noise. I have 3 children in the house, they're bound to make noise, and school is finished, but there's usually lots of buses back and forth. So excuse the noise. Let's focus on what we're here for. Okay, so what is the colouring companion? The colouring companion is something that I've been working on for quite a while now. And I wanted to encompass everything that a colourist could need to take out the fear away from colouring a page. So I don't know if you've ever felt the same, but sometimes you sit down, you get a book, you love a page and you think, oh, I'd love to colour this. But then there's this fear that you're going to mess it up. And so you go past that one and do another one. And then very quickly you become afraid of colouring that page. It's not a fear, but it is something that stops you from colouring something that you want to colour. So the idea behind this is that you have specific pages that you can test things out on. So let's have a look. The first thing that you get in the colouring companion, which at the moment is only available on Patreon because it's coming out bit by bit. As I'm drawing them, I'm releasing them. Maybe one day, and hopefully one day, it'll become a full book, but for now it's just for Patreon members. But they are bonus pages, so every tier above the tip jar gets them. So I found that I had an awful lot of different swatch sheets and they were everywhere and I would lose them. And it's a pain to go back and do them again. I lost the swatch sheet for my Prismacolors, so I have to go back in and do 150 swatches again. So I decided that having somewhere to keep all your swatch sheets together and look quite uniform, which I like, that was something I wanted. So as you can see, the colouring companion, colour swatch chart. Now they do come in different numbers because if you've only got a small set of pencil, you could do a number of different pencils on the same page. This is the 120 square Brute Fooner. You see swatch number, swatch number, swatch number, swatch number. They don't have names, but if like the Prismacolors you wanted to put the name in, the boxes would be a bit small to fit them all on one sheet with the names rather than the numbers, but hey. This would be a smaller one, so I think I did maybe my Black Widows. The Faber-Castell Black Edition I've done on this page because there was only there was 35 of them or 36, so I did it on this page so that it kind of filled up the page. So that's the first thing that you get in the colouring companion, and it's already released over on Patreon, is the swatch sheet. Yep, nothing on the back of that one. The next thing I wanted to do was different items that you would colour. So this one would be droplets, so it's not necessarily all raindrops, but droplets. So it could be a droplet of coffee or tea or honey or I don't know, so anything. But what I've done with these ones, and I hope this is a bit interesting for you, is that I've put together groups of things. So we've got the droplets, the fabric, and as you can see, where I've only used 4 colours, this one I did 1, 2, 3 and 4. Sometimes I do, say, one brand of pencils. This is a Prismacolor, these are Brute Fooner pencils, this is Copic, and this is Ohuhu. So these are just different brands done in different styles. These one are using 1 colour, 2 colour, 3 colour, 4 colour, and kept that going down the page. But you can use these boxes to remember what colours you've used in there. So say you really enjoy this colour and this colour combination, you know exactly what colours you've used, and you can use that on something else. So the next thing in this set would be liquid. So we've got a liquid, kind of a droplet, a slightly different style of droplet, and we'll say another puddle of liquid. And all these are just to help you learn to colour these items, so that if you were to put them into a colouring page, you could have something to reference back to and say, oh, I've tried colouring this, I've coloured this like this in that way and with this technique and I enjoyed that. The next one in this set is clouds. Now they're very simple shapes of clouds, but I've done a video for my Patrons, and I will get one onto my channel soon, about how you can add your own shapes and your own textures into clouds, but again with the boxes, so that you can remember what you're colouring, remember your colour combinations. And then when you've done the 4 of these, then the idea is that you put them to the test, joining them together. So that's where the last page would come in, which would be the colouring page. So you can see you've got, and I've tried to take some direct references from the colouring companion, others are kind of sneaky references, like you see the droplets here are the same, if I can get them, the same as the droplets here. The puddles are very similar. The droplets like this are the same droplets here. The clouds on the colouring page are the same clouds that are on your tester page. So the idea is that you can see the fabric is a little bit different, but you can kind of explore different things. You can have a go at them on the pages, on the tester pages, and then put it to kind of practice on the colouring page. So the beauty of these are that you can print them over and over and over and over. I've had so much fun just sitting down and doodling different colours of lips in different styles. I love the kind of really watery, glossy kind of look, and I'm gonna say 2 or 3 pages worth of them that I have where I've just kind of doodled them on there, chucked up what I've used. These ones are not great because I haven't put what colours I've used, but just the kind of technique. Like, I love this red one, it came out really nice. These are Winsor Newtons. I've done a video on my channel about bricks. I don't think there's anything else in here. No, I have pages ready for when I next want to colour in some more lips. They're just ready. So there are a few sets already on Patreon. I always get that pronunciation wrong. But I am building them slowly but surely. So this page would be kind of a page that would go along directly with the page that you've had for the colouring competition. Let me just find it in the book itself. Where are you, bees? They don't want to be found. I actually coloured this already in my son's colouring book. I gave him one of the ones that were a bit small, and I had a row for doing it. He took it off me and was like, oh, you've got your own book, Mom. Use your own. Okay, so you can see that we've got the bee, this guy, the honey, the honeycomb, and the flowers. Now they're not exactly the same. I've tried to trace them a bit from my images, so that you've got a really good idea. What you'll find is that something that you do on here, there's going to be a lot more detail on this one, so you can get a general idea of the colours that you want to use on this, but it's going to be in a larger scale, and you can get an idea of the colours that you can use for the dripping honey to transfer to this page. And the honeycomb here doesn't have the small lines and things in, but you'll have an idea of what you want from here to go there. So the same with the flowers, obviously. If you were a bit intimidated as to where to start, then it's a great idea to have the bees ready, or the tester page ready, you can try it out with a couple of different color combinations. And I know there are 2 pages, 2 copies of each illustration in the book, so you can test it out technically 2 times. So if you don't like it the first time, you can go again with a different color. But this way you can test out 4 times, and then if you don't like them, print more and test more, so that you know exactly what you want. Already I've seen different combinations of colours of bees that have been coloured for the competition, and they're all amazing, they're all fab. And you can maybe have a look to see what colours you have that would maybe kind of not copy other people's work, but if you like something and you see something you think you could do and you could use, then you can take inspiration of other people's work. Because obviously we don't want to copy, but taking inspiration is great. Okay, so that is what the colouring companion is. Very quickly, I'm going to colour 1, maybe 2 bees for you, just to see how I kind of record the colours. I have the 120 square Brutfuner set that I'm going to use, along with 2 different Copic markers, which are the BG30, not 30 but 000, and the Y00. This is a little bit greeny, but I don't have the next one up yet. So let me just see if I can zoom in. Okay, so we are zoomed in. Squeaky chair, here we go. Okay, so the first bee, when they're this size, if you're going to do just a very plain black and yellow, I find that the black can take over the entire page. So I'm going to show you what I mean with this one. So if you're going to use markers and you're going to use black, any area that the black goes is going to really stand out because it's such a strong colour. So as I'm putting the black down, you can see that it's hiding. There's not so much detail there, but you know, the legs have disappeared. We'll give that a second to dry. And then if it is small, you're going to find it hard to do. Well, you might have finer tip markers than I do. Okay, so as cute as he would be, I find that the black really takes over your colouring, and it leaves it quite hard to add in anything else on top of it. You can, if they're small and you don't have much space to colour, and you don't have much space to add your own kind of colouring detail, then these could be very cute bees. What have I got? Y15. So I'm just going to add a little bit of Y17. So see, in my own personal kind of key, you know, when you're doing maps in school and you have to have a key, C means Copic for me, PC is Prismacolor, B is Brutfuner, BS is Brutfuner squared, O is Ohuhu, WN, Winsor Newton, and I don't really stray too far outside of them, to be honest. So if I do have to find something else, I will have a look. Okay, we're going to use this one for the wings. So very quickly, how if you don't have much space, this is BG 0, 0, 0. Obviously I'm not going to write in black because I can see that that's black, but if you want to, you can I'll show you. So if it's a really dark color, I normally fill half the square and do 100, so you know it is black. And then we'll go with this one. I'll just give them a bit. That is BG23. So you can see how you can do them super quickly, but for me the black really has kind of taken over that little image. Now I'm going to show you with, I'm going to go 6 colors, but I might just do his wings again as an undercoat in this BG color. You can see I'm not being very tidy. I'm not a very tidy colorist, to be honest, but also on these pages it's more about finding out what colors I want to use rather than being really specific and really detailed, although you can if you want to. Okay, so the first color I'm going to use, so we're going to go BS, and it is 069, and this is the lightest yellow. I'm going to go with 3 different yellow, or a yellow and 2 kind of orangey colors, and I'm going to do a very kind of light base. And I've already looked at my color chart, and I think these look like they're going to mix really well or blend really well together, and the colors are going to work nicely with each other. But sometimes you do it thinking that the colors are going to work lovely, and then they don't, not at all. So again, it is really handy to have these sheets. This is 050. And I'm just going to write the last one in is 109. Okay, so I'm going to create kind of like a light space. You know, just map out your colors where you want them to go. Now again, when you're doing it on this guy, he's really nice and small, so it's kind of very quick and easy. When I did it on the big guy, they took me about maybe 40 minutes each to do each bee. I'll have to see if I can get that book back off my son, but he's kind of hidden it from me because he said I used it without asking, which is true, I did. And if he were to do that to me, I'd be really cross. So in his defense, I kind of understand. So as always, I love to colour in this like really cartoony style. I don't like anything to be too realistic. I like to, I'm a very childish person. That's okay. Okay, so that's what I want the yellow part of the bee to look like. Now again, I'm going to show you what I would do if I was going to colour them in black, but I want to use these 3 browns. I'd like to try out, that's what I did. It is what I did, but my eldest son was also colouring the page and he did them in brown and I really liked it. So this is not my idea to do the brown. This is Tyan's idea. I don't want to take credit for his genius, because I think again sometimes we get caught up in trying to make them look too realistic and trying to stick to the colours. Although I have seen some, not just the bees but the giraffes, when everybody was colouring in the giraffe pages for the cover competition, just absolutely beautiful, where they went completely against the norm and coloured them in so many different colours. Tutu is next, and I just think that's lovely. It's so pretty that obviously if you want to colour them in the colours they should be, that's great, but we also have these fantastic imaginations to do a bee that's pink and purple or green and red, that we're not sticking to the colours, because if you're going to be cartoony in style, why not go all the way, right? Oh, I smudged it. Okay, but you can see the idea, you can see where the idea is going. This is why I don't really do videos like this, where I film and talk at the same time. Oh, pencil. Where I film and talk at the same time, because when I'm concentrating, everything else goes away. And I just start I fall into my own little world and world. And I forget to talk. Or like that, when my pencil breaks, I make funny comments at my pencils. Okay, so there's our little bee. Yeah, I'm going to give it a bit of a squiggle, and this is 086, and I'm just going to, on his wings, give him a little bit of colour. Okay, I said a little bit and then I did a lot. I also find that when I'm colouring in a picture and there is black, where's my black gone? I like to go over the black just to make that colour pop. But it is the smudgiest colour, so be careful. Okay, so that's one version of our Buzzy Bee. This video is getting very long, but we'll do one more very quickly, and I'll show you what I would do if I were colouring, let's say, black. Okay, so I'm going to do the wings blue again, but I'm also going to do anywhere that the black is going blue. Okay, so I'm not being very gentle with these, am I? But that's the BG30 again. and I'm going to do so it's the Y00. Okay, so forget about his wings for a second. I'm going to use 3 different colours, again from the book from the square. 073, white is 032, and black is 028. And my writing gets worse the more I kind of think about something. So you've got black, then we've got this really dark kind of grey, steely grey, and then white. You never really see white, so sometimes I just write it in. Okay, so I'm going to use the same kind of way I did this one, where the blue is now the base coat. Then we're going above it with the steely grey. The black is just then kind of like this, we'll call it a low light colour because it's not a highlight, is it? The low light colour. And what we want is for it to look dark and black without being overpowering black. I hope that makes sense. And that's where the white comes in then. It just kind of blends these colours. Oh, I did it again. Blends these colours into each other. Pulls the black into greys. And to me that's a really nice black. You can obviously go in and make it darker if you want to, or kind of pull out more pieces of black, or make it completely black like this. It's up to you. I'm gonna do this again. Okay, and then I'm gonna go in very quickly with my 3 yellows, or they're not all yellows. So I got a yellow, an orange yellow, and blatant orange. So this is 004. We just put BS at the top of them so I remember what they are. This is 092, and this is 090. Okay, same thing. Map out your colours first so you know where you want them to go. Now what I would say is also remember that black, like I said, is a really smudgy colour. So sometimes you might want to go in and do the black first, and then before you even put the yellow marker down, use an eraser to kind of clean up the page a little bit. I don't know if you can hear that. My guinea pigs can hear someone moving around or opening a bag in China. They're the cutest little things. As soon as you open a bag, any kind of crinkle, they weak. They want food. You'd swear they were never fed. They're definitely fed. My little pudge balls. Okay, so that's that bee. Now I'm gonna just try and do something nice with his wings. make sure the white is clean. Okay, so I will add those in. If there's no room here, sometimes I'll do them in spots around the corner. So that was 100, and that is 113. Okay, that is how I would colour those, to have a look to see what colours I want to use. If I want to go like this one, I would rather go darker. So the next bee now, what I would do is kind of pick out which of the yellows I like, which is this one probably, but rather than going black, I'd go darker set of brown. So that's what this one would be. And then if I still don't like any of my choices, then I can always print it again and have another go. So what I'm going to do is try and come back and do these with you throughout the rest of this week, and maybe kind of cutting in a bit more, because there's a lot of hospital appointments going on this week, and lots of lovely new things going on in the family, and some not so lovely things going on in in life in general. But that's my plan. I'll try and get back and do these with you. Also, if you're not a subscriber on my YouTube channel, then that's the place where you'll see me doing the other colourings, and where you'll find out when this is available to everybody. If you do want to get your hands on them sooner, then maybe consider becoming a Patreon member. Like I said, from tier Gnome tier, which I think is $2 a month, you would get these as your bonus pages, but you also do have access to all the previous pages. So it's not something that you have to grab and then you might miss some, or you might whatever. If they're already out, you will have access to them. That is it from me. This has been an interesting video, trying to film without messing up too much verbally or too much noise going on. But I think it went okay. I hope the sound quality is alright. Let's enjoy the rest of the event. For me, it's good afternoon. It's about 4, I'm going to say 4:30 on a Wednesday. Oh my goodness, I'm a day behind. Wednesday afternoon here in County Cork. The weather is dry, which is amazing, but a bit gloomy. I hope it's a lot nicer where you are. That's it from me. Thank you ever so much for being here with me. Stay safe, stay crafty, and as always, stay sassy.